Chances are you or someone you know has struggled with pornography addiction. Our guest today is Jeff Erickson, and not only does he share some really practical tips on cell phone use and pornography and how to completely avoid it, but he also emphasizes our youth and how to best set them up for success when it comes to phone use. This is a fantastic episode, one that you're gonna wanna listen to. Welcome to episode 108 of The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. I am your host, Janine Igliani, with my co-host, Ryan Hatcher.
What's up, guys?
And I'm excited for this conversation. Jeff, thank you for being with us today.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, this will be really, really fun. So as I kind of shared with you before, we like to start from the very beginning. We want to know all about you. Where'd you grow up and all of that?
Love it. Grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona. Went to high school there. Graduated from Arcadia High School. Family grew up in a single parent household. Mom took great care of us, just in the survival mode. Grateful for a good mom who sent me down the right path.
Yeah.
Went on a mission.
Where'd you go?
Went to Nova Scotia, Canada.
Oh, okay.
On a mission. My father was a hockey player. That's something interesting about me. Played in the NHL for 10 or 11 years.
That's
Wow.
cool.
Yeah, and then came back, went to school, went to BYU, got a degree in communications, went off to dental school, practiced as a dentist for a long time, and about 8-9 years ago, woke up and I thought I needed more, enjoyed dentistry, loved what it did for me and my family. I have to mention, got married.
Yes.
My wife will kill me.
Yes. When did you get married?
Got married in 1993.
Okay.
A long time ago, but a little bit later than many. Have 7 kids, 6 boys and a girl right at the end.
Amazing.
Wow.
So it was worth it.
Oh.
Cute.
Amazing to have a girl. Great softener for a bunch of testosterone.
Yeah, I
It was
bet.
Fantastic
I bet.
to have a girl.
Yeah.
So, and she's still in our home. She's 18. She's a senior. Amazing girl.
What's the age gap between oldest and youngest?
Great question. They're all essentially about 2. We almost had them every 2-ish years.
Yeah.
So
That's
kind of
fun.
18 on up to, yeah.
What a fun house.
Oh, it was really fun. Really fun raising a bunch of boys.
Yeah.
Sports family, big into soccer. We actually started many years ago. We started a soccer club. It's called Santos.
Fun.
So we run that too on the side. But
Wow.
that was
Still do.
big soccer
I
project.
can't imagine a house with 6 boys. I have
Yeah.
1 and 2 girls, and my poor son, and he is just like, he's at that age where he's 13, almost 14. He wants to wrestle and fight everybody and just like all of this. And I'm like, I can't imagine if I had like multiples of you.
Yeah, we had good fights and sometimes even knives were pulled. So a little bit scary sometimes. but fun to raise a bunch of boys, and then
Yeah.
to have a girl at the end was awesome.
That's awesome. So this was like a later in life career change. So let's hear about that.
Yeah, so I love dentistry. I did for a long time. A group of us sold our practices, opened some more practices, and thought I hit early 50s, and I thought I need more purpose in my life. So decided to go back to school, get a degree in counseling. So I went to Grand Canyon, did a mental health degree.
What attracted you to counseling out of all the different options you had?
That's a great question. Truthfully, I was a bishop for a time, and I saw the need with youth, kind of a struggle with pornography. So I really went back to do that, to be a pornography counselor. And so that's what I do right now, 2 days a week at Arizona Family Institute.
Before we leave that subject, how big of a problem is it?
It's big.
Yeah.
It's if I can give you numbers, but I think it's incredibly prevalent. The statistics are 78% of men struggle with it, 44% of women. So it's a big
Which is
big
interesting,
issue.
right? The women's side of it. That number's really grown exponentially.
Yes.
And what the last I heard was the women's side of it has grown exponentially with the advent of social media.
Yeah, no, and women approach it a little different than men. The boys are usually video gaming, just kind of straight up pornography. Women a lot of times through reading books, a little bit in social media.
Yeah. I heard the average age of that first major exposure was 7.
That's about right. A lot of people say 7 to 11. So, yeah.
So you go back to school, you get your degree, and then what?
Then I come out, I join the group I'm at, Arizona Family Institute. I start doing that counseling. So I'm into that about a year or two, and I realize, wait, the enemy is pornography, but the real enemy is just time on screens. And so that caused a dramatic, kind of an exciting shift where I thought, I got to start attacking screens. And so started a website called screenguy.com or yourscreenguys.com, because I do it with my son. But started this website, started doing way more research, spent a ton of time researching, and just found all these things. So wrote a little booklet. My son and I wrote a little booklet called 10 Ways to, 10 Management Tips for Screen Management.
Can you share some of those with us?
You bet. I can give you a full acronym. Let me give you a simple. I think one of the funnest things we do is we do a lot of, my son, he does a lot of things in schools right now. He goes and talks to a lot of elementary students, junior high students, and a lot of times I talk to the parents. But kind of a real basic one we use is the acronym MRS, MRS. And it's really, as a parent, it's to measure screen time every day. So as a kid too, but measure your son, daughter's screen time, measure your own screen time. So that's the M. The R is rest periods. Rest the phones every night. Have them turned in. If it's your kids, make sure they're turned in. Even if it's your own, set it down a certain time. And then the S is schedule screen time more, because we're so prone to falling into this. Whenever we get a break, whenever it's most convenient, we fall into that trap of just scrolling. And so,
can I go a little deeper on each of
Please
those?
do.
Why is it important to measure your screen time?
because you want, really what I tell people as a counselor is keep it under 2 hours. Your discretionary time, if you need it for work, great, but any kind of extracurricular or discretionary time needs to be under 2 hours. All the bad statistical things, depression, envy, they all seem to start about 2 hours. 1 hour, there's a study out there that says 1 hour there's not much impact in your life, but beginning 2 hours you start to see all the negative outcomes, the self-esteem drop, anxiety, all
2
kinds of
hours.
things.
Okay.
2 hours is my magic number I use. I would rather you keep it at 90 minutes, but 2 hours
Sure.
is a good guideline.
At the most, yeah.
Check this out, and I want to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, I saw this video. It looked like a TED Talk, and this guy was up on stage, and he was showing dots on a screen, and it was showing basically the months left in life that an 18-year-old would have on average to get to 90, okay? And so he color-coded the ones that they're going to be spending in school, like the actual time in months, eating, getting ready, those types of things. And then he showed a big chunk of these dots that was basically the free time that they would have left in their life. And that was pretty cool to see, until he said the average teenager is on track to spend 93% of that time on a screen. And this is the time that you're supposed to be working on achieving your goals and building, working on talents and going and seeing the world, doing those things, right? So I show that to my 14-year-old, and intellectually he understands it and he totally gets it. But even since I showed him that, he's on his phone a lot. So what do you do with that?
I love it. It sounds like probably a reset issue. And one of the things I kind of always recommend for parents is treat the phone more like a rental vehicle, where as a parent you're going to rent it to them. If we're going to have an agreement here, we're going to rent it, right? And if you stay within the confines of the rental agreement, you are totally more than welcome to continue to use it.
I love it.
But if you can't abide by those rental agreement terms, we're going to have to take the phone away for a season and give it back. But we'll try again. We're not going to punish you forever. But I think what's happened is we've given kids technology without training,
Right.
and it's kind of killed them. And so what we want when we go out and speak, in my counseling office, it's always, man, train, because it's deadly.
Yeah.
You made a comment earlier about the pornography thing. In Australia, they did a study in 2008. Smartphones, 2006, 2007 coming on. 5% of young men, 15 to 29, were looking at pornography daily. So 5%, not bad. 2017, 9 years later, 39%.
Jeez.
So 8 times with the accessibility now.
Right.
You got 8 times heavier daily use, and so
Yeah.
that's kind of what I see all the time.
Jeff, I have so many things I want to go into with you, and I do want to come back to the pornography one, but I want to finish the R for rest. Why is that
Love
important?
Rest is just it tells you that you're in control. It tells you that if I can put my phone away on a Saturday or a Sunday and not go, and that's what we recommend. Have a day of rest, and you can check in if you need to check certain things. But if you can put it away for a day, you're in charge still. And if
Love
you
it.
can't, the technology's in charge.
So that's a question I would have for you as realtors, because almost everything we do is on our phone. You know, from taking calls from other agents who have interested people for your listing, or you're talking to your clients, also doing marketing, which has a lot to do with the social media use that we have personally. But obviously there's some scrolling, there's things that we do that's a waste of time.
Sure.
How do you, I mean, what do you recommend to realtors?
Go back to the M on that. Go back to the measuring and see
How
at
much
the end
time
of your
you're
day.
spending?
Yeah, go in and go through that screen time app and check how much time did I really spend on social media. Yeah. So try to evaluate how much discretionary time. I think if you work on a screen 12 hours a day, but it's all work related,
Is what it
more
is.
power to
Yeah.
that person. But if it becomes 2.5 hours of
Yeah.
scrolling time,
Yeah.
3 hours of scrolling time, but measuring is critical. And every statistic out there tells you that if you measure things, you're far more successful
For sure.
at
I think
achieving
it's
that.
powerful. All right, the S.
Yeah, the S is just schedule, because we're all guilty of just jumping on and scrolling random times, but treat it like you guys talk about real estate. Your business, you kind of have a daily plan, and sometimes there's things that change things, but for the most part, if we schedule screen time, we're far more effective.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump on my screen. It's okay to say I want to spend an hour on social media. If I do that, but the hour always becomes 3. And
Yes.
so there's nothing wrong with scheduling time like you would a job, like a school, a class,
Yeah.
and anything. And scheduling is powerful because then you're in control of it. Otherwise, screens are our default right now. When we're bored for 15 seconds, 78% of us default to that.
And it's crazy. I heard this, that like it's very rare to be out in public anywhere and not see half the people just mindlessly on their phones, just completely oblivious to the people around them.
When was the last time you stood in line waiting and you were not on your phone?
Go to an airport, and you can walk around an airport, and 95+% of the heads are down looking.
Yeah.
I fly once a week, and so and I started flying 15, 17 years ago, and it's just dramatically changed in that time. Now it's every head is down. Yeah, in every line. It's interesting.
I want to touch on the pornography side.
Yeah.
It's so prevalent. It's so destructive. I've heard that it can rewire your brain. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, just it's like any habit. Mentally we get these habits and they are ingrained in us, and it really is like a track in our brain. And so fortunately you can unwire things, you can rewire in a more healthy direction. And the problem is you can't, if you have accessibility is so prevalent. If you have access to something, if you're on a diet and the cookie's on the table, you're eventually going to eat it.
That's a great question then, or it leads me to a great question. What are some protective measures you can put in place?
Yeah, I think as parents, I think we need to really oversee the phone, really get in there. And if I gave an 8-year-old a smartphone, which I would never do, I would have every app block. Blockers help. They're not a cure-all. We give a 12-step thing in our office, but you have to address the accessibility question, which means, what do I want them to access? They're going to access. Kids are so good at getting through any kind of blockers, but we need, me as a parent, I'm going to try to give that phone. My last daughter got her phone when she was 15, almost 16, and with limits, with measurement. She had an hour and 30 a day was her limit for a long time.
I love that.
And so I think if we don't do those things, we have to train our kids. If we don't, there's just too many opportunities to misuse them.
Well, or miss out on opportunities for them to achieve something that they could have done otherwise.
Right.
I love that. We call it, you referenced earlier, we call it a digital year. So we say now the average Gen Z generation is going to live half a life. So they're going to live 40. If they're going to die at 80, they're going to live 40 years because they're on waking time. They're literally on their screen half of that discretionary time even. So it's amazing they they get sleep, because they sleep for 8, they're on their screen for about 8, and then they live their other life for about 8.
So
What does that do to your brain?
It's high stress, high anxiety, more depression, all those things. 5 hours a day on social media, 3 times more likely to be depressed.
Wow.
And
say that again.
5 hours a day. So the average girl, the average young lady, 13 to 19, is on social media 4.8 hours a day. Wow. This is a statistic from our Surgeon General. And at 5 hours a day, they're 3 times more likely to be depressed. At 3 hours a day of social media, 2 times more likely to be depressed.
Wow.
So depression is thriving out there, right? Anxiety is thriving. Just this motion right here is anxiety producing. And so I see plenty of that anxiety and depression in my office all the time. And I had a client come in, and great young man, struggling with pornography, but I said, hey, it looks like you're going to have to cut down your screen time. He was on screen a lot. And he said, well, that's going to be rough. I've invested 40 hours a week for 15 years into my screen. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Wow. So that's the kind of things we see frequently in those 7 to 10 hour daily increments. It's a tough to not be depressed or anxious.
So you kind of mentioned a little bit of the way that this affects boys and girls differently. Can you share, maybe elaborate on that? Because we hear like the women are more like anxiety driven because of the comparison factor of social media and things like that, or the like fear of missing out that they feel like it just creates so much. And then obviously the boys side, I don't want to generalize, but it just seems like boys are very visual, so they're easily enticed into pornography. And I know I had read an article where a man was so addicted to pornography, had saved himself for marriage, and when he finally got married, he couldn't enjoy that experience because he had so related it to this visual way that it like kind of messed him up.
That happens for many of our clients, and I treat tons of clients who are addicted to pornography, struggle with pornography. Addiction's a little more harsh term. That means daily. And I have more clients that have a frequent pornography habit, but many of them struggle with that. Pornography is an absolute disconnector. So if you want to have a healthy relationship and you got pornography in the middle, really, really tough. For young boys, it's so appealing. For them, a naked lady is. They'd love to see that, right? And so the problem with us as parents, we're giving them that resource, and we just can't do that. We have to create some limitations, right? We just don't. We forget what we're really giving them.
For sure. When it comes to like, one of the things that I would love to see is like a blanket, like no phone or no social media until you're 16 or something, almost like an alcohol, right? Like you have to be 21 to drink or 18 to get a tattoo. Like I would love to see something like that.
We actually just allowed our 17-year-old daughter to have IG and Instagram. So, and I felt like that was extremely good, to just hold her off from that as much as possible. I
love that you did that. You guys might have seen that Australia just moved their social media age to 16, which is, it's no different than the cigarette in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. And so what we don't have, and truthfully, probably even more addicting, some of the things on, phones. Here's what we forget. The number one addiction in the world by far, and you could take every negative, every chemical addiction,
substances,
cocaine. You could combine all those. That doesn't even touch the phone addiction, right? So
that's insane.
Yeah, number one, far nothing close.
That's
and so
crazy.
We do need to address that. And so it's nice that different communities are coming out and saying, "Hey, none of that till 16." You as a father, what a brilliant move. It gets a little tough. I come across negative on digital devices. I don't want to do that because there's such good uses.
Yeah.
And some of the juggle we have as parents is, I need to keep my kids socially involved, so they need a little bit of something. Otherwise, I'm isolating them, which is kind of just as healthy sometimes as unhealthy.
Well, so I was watching some of your IG videos, and Talmadge, your boy, was talking about a challenge you had given him in high school.
Yeah.
What was it?
This episode is sponsored by Frank Bowen, founder of Bowen Technologies. High performers don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. Frank Bowen helps professionals build the internal structure required to perform at a higher level consistently. Through his growth circuit framework, he teaches discipline, focus, and leadership at a different standard. To get started, visit Frank's website linked in the description. Thank you for watching the episode. You know, our podcast is called The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. And I love sharing these real life stories, but we are also in the real estate business. And so if you have any real estate needs, maybe you're thinking about buying or selling or wanting to invest in real estate, we would love to help you.
The challenge for Talmadge, he was going into high school. He wanted a smartphone. I said, hey, I parent through money. Isn't that awful?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, for some, it
lazy
works.
parenting, right? But I went to him, and at the time, $5,000 was worth a lot more. But
Yeah.
I said, I'll give you $5,000 if you don't get a smartphone for the next 4 years through high school.
Wow.
And he did it. And his last year or two was a little bit tougher socially. I think starting to see that. In this day and age, I would do that different. So he completed it. He got the $5,000. It was awesome.
Because that was how long ago?
He graduated in 2020, so COVID year.
Yeah,
Crazy.
wow.
Yeah, it was impressive because it got difficult. Now my next son, I gave the same challenge to, and by his junior year, he said, "Dad, I can't.
It's not worth it."
And it was more. It wasn't a plea because I need to be on this or that. It was more a plea of I'm missing out on some key social things.
Yeah.
So I need this or this. And that kid, by the way, is fantastic. He's really great digital manager.
What would you do differently today?
I've shifted to more. That was digital abstinence, and now I'm more a digital management guy.
Yeah.
I want to manage it. It's the training wheels. I want to give you the training wheels. I'll watch you for a time. I'll watch you. When I'm happy with what you're doing, we'll take the training wheels off, and we'll still guide you. But that's my new approach, really.
So I've found with our 14-year-old son, when he's in trouble, the first thing that goes is give me the phone, and it'll cut him, and he hates it, but he knows like he can get a lot more done. Or anytime and I shouldn't say trouble because he doesn't get in trouble very often, but when he doesn't get his chores done, he's not doing stuff in a timely fashion, right? And we're trying to figure out that balance, and it's tough.
And it's hard too
No
because
social media, but just having a
well,
smartphone.
and it's their connection to their friends so often. So it's not like it's just a regular punishment, but you're almost like disconnecting them from their friends, which feels even harder, right?
It's kind of like our parents making us go to our room.
Yeah.
Which they would love now. They don't care. They'd go to the room as long as
For
they have
sure,
their phone.
right? I remember though, with our oldest daughter, we took her, when she was misbehaving, we would take her phone away. And it was almost like it was hard at first, but then after a few days, it was like, oh, my daughter's back. Like the nice, sweet girl is back.
Yeah, if you want to do a good test case, you give your kid a smartphone and see the personality distortion that occurs in 2 or 3 days. It's crazy, but it happens almost overnight. It's a shift where the phone now controls my life versus I control the phone. That's the tragedy of it sometimes. And again, there's so many good uses out there. But it really is, we've accepted the smartphone so much that it governs what we...
Right.
We used to think it was rude to pull out our phone at someone when we're talking. Right. It's commonplace.
It's insane.
You go to dinner and you watch two couples, they don't chat anymore.
It frustrates me so much.
Yes.
And I even feel, you'll see little kids without a phone and the parents are just on their phone. And I'm like, that poor little kid. It breaks my heart.
I saw we were eating at a place the other day and there was a little kid, maybe 5 years old. He came in with his tablet, whatever it was, with his earphones. Parents sat across from him. They had dinner together. They didn't say one word to the kid the whole time. He stayed on his tablet, and that was their family dinner.
That's tragedy.
Yeah, and that's the one of the bigger issues we always deal with, the digital disconnection. It's just so painful, and it's painful in the world today. Everyone feels connected because I got friends online, but it's not the same as a deep, healthy connection.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, Jeff, I want you to give us your top 5 best practices around phone usage, social media, anything.
I like that. Phone usage. That's a good question. There's a lot of good ones. I think the number one thing parents need to do is just have their kids check their phone in at night.
Yes.
So they're one of the biggest issues.
Out of their room.
Out of the room, because one of the hugest issues out there is sleep. Kids are sleep deprived. They're just staying late on a screen. That can be, I say phone too, somehow you cannot have devices in the bedroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's-
So what we do
No
is we have
iPad.
a charging station downstairs on a counter, and the kids have to plug it in at night. Now the challenge that what we're seeing now is when they're doing homework, they feel like they need to have their phone for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it could be just to listen to music, but it could be they're looking stuff up, they're checking things. That's their computer now. So I struggle with that, but I definitely love the check-in station, and we're pretty relentless about that. That better be plugged in when you go to bed, you know. And maybe we need to do it earlier.
I like that. I do like, and a little bit of an addition to that is, how could we have a 5-minute conversation every night while going through their phone? Just this interaction that nightly we have this ritual. Hey, come here, let me look. Just so the kids know that the phone is not really theirs. We have free access. We have the code,
Yes, love
by the
that.
way. So one of the
Yes.
tips is parents have the code. So you can't add apps, you can't do things
Yes.
because we have the code.
I guarantee there are people that are going to hear this and cringe at that, especially the kids, right? But parents too.
For sure. And it, truthfully, for most of us, it's a step back. We've already given a lot of permissions. We've granted all this freedom. There is some, we need to take some of that back because the freedom we've granted isn't working very good at all.
Yeah.
So we need, how do we rein it in a little bit and come back and say, hey, we want the code, we want to do this, and we want to have a nightly meeting. I want to look at, I have a daughter, she's amazing. She does erase some texts.
Oh.
But because she knows we're going to look at it. And
Yeah.
can I live with that? Yeah, but I'm glad she knows we're going to check on some things, right? We just want to
That
be
frequently?
aware. What's that?
Do you do it or you would do it that frequently?
My wife is way better at it than me.
Yeah.
But she knows we're doing it, which is
Yeah.
and again, is it perfect? No, but it's a really healthy pattern to
I
establish
love
as a
that.
family.
Well, and if it's just that framework around this is on rent. And I love the idea of having a contract and having this is our rules, right? Our son, we have him sign it. He had to sign a contract, and it just stipulated the rules of the phone usage. And so if he breaks those rules, it's not even like a argument. It's just like, these are the rules, you broke it, right? And a big one for us is not only turning your phone in our room, but on time. Like we cut it off, 9 o'clock, that's it.
Love it. That's a great rule. I think another piece to our rule system is everyone make sure they know that you're going to live by the same
Ooh,
rules they're
that's
living by.
good.
The family plan is a family plan. It's for
Yes.
all of us.
Yeah. See,
So-
that's where I struggle. Like, we'll be eating a meal, and then I'll get a phone call from somebody work related, and often I'll take it just to get it out of the way and be done. And there's a lot of flexibility, so it's a give and take
Yeah.
right, in our world.
But maybe that's good though, Ryan.
But
If
maybe
you
I-
model it and
maybe
you're
I
like,
just say,
look,
okay,
I'm not, yeah.
and don't even bring it to the table.
Yes.
There you go. Create some sacred places. Like
Right.
you can't have it in your room. I can't at dinner time.
Yep.
No one's got it, and I'll make that phone call later. I think
I
that's.
love that.
We have a little acronym we use in our book called SCREENS, SCREENS, and each one stands for something. But one is the nights and nevers. There's also some nevers, which hey, if you do get caught looking at pornography, I'm not going to lecture you. I'm going to love you still.
Yeah.
But we're going to have a rule that if you do that, we're going to have to start again. We take it away for a time. But there's certain nevers. You can't go on certain things.
Yes.
You can't load certain apps. You
Yeah.
can have some nevers. I think that's part of your rental
For
agreement.
sure.
And of course, we have the parental controls where that has to be approved. That app
Yeah.
download has to be approved.
Yeah.
We were talking about this months ago, and I'm a young men's leader at church, right? And we talk about these things quite a bit. And the question isn't for these boys, have you seen pornography? It's when was the last time you saw it,
Yeah.
right? And then what did you do?
That's
So-
so hard. What else? Any other these are
I'm trying to think of the acronym a little bit. It's SC. The S is measure screen time. The C is have the codes. The R is rest, periods of rest. The other E is everyone, and to make your plan easy. Don't make your phone, your digital plan so complex that no one can do it. Make it a 3 to 5 minute thing every night. We can handle this. But we do need to invest in having no program is no program, and no program doesn't work at all. So you have to have a digital plan as a family. Nights and nevers, we have those nights and nevers in there, and the last S, boy, it's not even coming to me what it is, but
those are good though. Those
Yeah.
are really,
Well, I
really
love
good.
the concept of having a digital plan. I don't know that I've ever thought about that as a family. You have an escape plan maybe if you're really being organized. What happens in a fire? What happens if somebody starts to try to break into your house, right? Or, inclement weather or something, but a digital plan, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, and keep him. I think the thing we don't really, because it's so everywhere, I just don't think we realize it. It is the number one behavioral struggle in America and other countries too. But it's our biggest problem. Cigarettes aren't our biggest problem. Vaping's not our biggest problem. Drugs are not our. It really is the number one problem, and so we need to address it as such, as a family, especially.
Be intentional.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's so good. Anything else? What didn't we ask you, Jeff, that we should have?
Screens. I'll say this. I have a book coming out. I'm not even pumping the book, but I have a book called, here's a concept, and maybe this is a benefit to families, but it's a concept called digital drift. And so that's the title of the book. But digital drift is something that, this is what I've learned the last 3 or 4 years counseling. People come in, everyone has core values, standards, beliefs, ideals that are really, really healthy. And we're all trying to strive for those. And digital drift is the concept that the more time we spend recreationally, discretionary time on a screen, we actually drift away from those core values. We don't care as much about our family relationships. We don't care about as much our relationship with mom and dad, even some friends. People, if I'm spending 10 hours a day on a screen, I'm starting to isolate myself. So this drift, I see this all the time in the counseling office, and this drift has troubled me enough to write the book about it, but it's, with the drift comes all these digital diseases that are, that are paralyzing, right? And so I think that's the biggest reason I don't want my family to spend a ton of time scrolling, streaming and all these things, is because of this concept of drift. Because I know I'm going to lose them a little bit. I know I'm going to lose some of the things I hold most sacred, right? Some values, some things they have in their life. So
that's so good.
Well, that's really good. I've
ahead.
just been thinking about, like our potential, and I think about my son and how he's working to become a really good basketball player, and that's important to him. But how much is he missing out on because he's letting these distractions take over some time? And what I would hate for him to feel when he's done with school and look back and say, I could have been a whole lot better had I just dialed in and been more disciplined to stay away from the distractions as much.
So true.
Yeah.
I have a client who struggled with pornography for almost 30 years. He tried 400 different ways to stop, right? So he came home, and everyone can't do this, but his plan that has worked successfully now for almost a year is he came home from work every day at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and he put his phone away. And just that act, and he didn't take it out till the next morning. Just that action of not accessing it for those 4, 5, 6 hours has helped him get rid of pornography, connect again with his family, with his wife, with his kids, and live the life he's wanted to live again. Just that one simple act. And so I think about him a lot, and just how one change has made a ton of difference. It's fun to watch.
So just out of curiosity, how did he overcome the need for somebody to get a hold of him, or him to use a phone to call somebody?
It's funny. I don't even know what he does, but I think he just said, "This is my only way out." Right. I think he felt like if I don't get rid of this now, I'm going to lose my family. He was at the station where he was about to lose everything he had, and it's I'm sure he did a bunch of other little things, but that main act of doing that, profound, right? Sure. And all of us can't do, like I need my phone for certain things at night, and
we don't have the career to be able to do that
for sure.
But I love that.
And the concept is to take it into everyone's life as, what do I need to do digitally to make it so it's not the most paramount, the most critical thing in my life. I want it to be secondary, tertiary instead of primary. And I think that's what's happened in America. It's become our primary source of everything, entertainment, family. Like I'm willing to, I'm guilty at night. I'm a writer, so I should be talking to my wife, and I want to write, and that's not wasted time, but it's not the most effective time, right? Sorry, honey.
Good, better, best. Yeah.
Good, good, better, best. It really is. And so, but it's become our replacement for so many things, and I think we need a better default than some kind of screen.
Well, I think what I'm hearing is just like the intentionality around this, right? Not just like letting it just be willy-nilly, but really setting intention around how are we going to use these? How are we going to be intentional with this time that we spend, and then helping set our kids up so that they get really good habits with it, so that they don't fall into some of these struggles as an adult, right? Yeah.
Let me jump on that point a little bit. I like that. Here's what we don't realize sometimes as fathers and mothers, that it does take so much more deliberateness, because if I want to keep them off of their phone for 4 or 6 hours, I got to be actively engaged myself. What can I go throw the ball with my kid? I have a daughter that we've kicked the soccer ball together for years. That half hour is golden for me versus having her spend a half hour on social media. So it takes much more deliberate parenting.
Fill it. Yeah. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. I do say that.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, if someone is interested in learning more, following you, getting one of your books, how can they find you?
Screenguy.com or Instagram. I think we're screen_guys. .com. So
and then
follow
YouTube,
that.
Screen-Guys.
Screen-Guys. We have some fun stuff on there. A lot of it's designed to just be great statistics, great information, helpful. Study anything on there. Look for the big book coming out. It's gonna be good.
What's your timeline on that?
September of this year. So it'll be out in like 3 or 4 months.
Well, I'm definitely getting a hold of this. Was it a pamphlet? What is it? 10 laws of
the 10 laws of screen management.
Nice.
So that's super. You can get that, by the way, free online. If you want it, you can download a PDF of it, and that really is valuable. It talks about our screens acronym in there.
That's awesome.
Super valuable.
Well, we'd love to end with a little speed round, rapid fire questions.
Wow.
Are you up for our rapid fire speed round?
As long as I'm okay if I get 60% correct.
There's no wrong answers.
Right. Okay. Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite food?
Oh, fish.
Favorite drink? That's a first.
Favorite drink? Honestly, probably water.
Oh, good for you. Do you have a favorite book?
My favorite book right now, I have a son who wrote the book Scaling.com, so that's my favorite book right now.
Scaling.com.
So, the science of scaling. Sorry. Their company's called Scaling.com.
That's scaling a business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite sound?
Never thought of that. My wife's voice.
Oh, good one.
What about a favorite podcast?
It's this one now.
Oh, yes. Okay. Do you have a favorite vacation?
Costa Rica.
Ooh, why is that?
We've gone there about 3 times, and it's a great mix of jungle, beach, really nice places. Yeah.
Okay, last one. What do you want to be known for?
I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference in someone's life, that someone quits doing something dumb because they read something of mine or heard me speak.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us and sharing. That was so good.
You guys have been great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to the Real Deal podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, and you can follow us on social media at the Home Selling Team AZ.